opposite direction behind the train. So with that, I'm going to turn it back to Mike to finish up.
Okay, thanks.
Can I just ask a question to clarify?
Ma'am, we're gonna do questions at the end. We want them to get through their presentation and then we'll do questions. Thank you very much.
Okay, no more scary videos, so you can unbuckle your seatbelt. Okay, so we're going to move on. Some of these are more recent activities, as Al had mentioned. Agreement was reached that the speed limit at the request of the community would reduce from 30 miles an hour to 25 miles an hour. We certainly, from the Purple Line standpoint, had no concern about that because, frankly, our vehicles would not be going 30 miles an hour, unlikely, for sure. So the speed limit was reduced to 25 miles an hour. We made sure that all the crosswalks and signalized intersections had pedestrian walk signals. Around the same time, the county decided to basically turn over part of Bonifaz Street, part of Wayne Avenue and Arliss Street over to the Purple Line, where the Purple Line is operating. And that was largely because of MTA, concessionaire, needing control as we operate the Purple Line. And also in terms of maintenance, different things like that, it certainly helps the overall environment. Right now, I mean, once the Purple Line is up and running, our team, Purple Line Transit Partners, will be assuming maintenance responsibility for the roadway. The other thing we worked very closely with the county on, in fact it was largely responsible to them. We heard the community wanting for certainly to relocate the traction power substation from its original location, working very closely with the school system and county DOT and the executive's office. We were able to relocate the traction power substation to the school. We worked closely with the school system to make sure it's incorporated into the school, that it's perfectly safe, and it's actually will be hardly noticeable, and we'll show you a rendering of that. The other thing recently, we got to thinking about on the east side of the intersection of Dale and Wayne, we have the platform, which in case someone is not able to get all the way across, let's say they start late in the countdown for pedestrian, they have a refuge. They can stand on the walkway extended from the platform. That's a pedestrian refuge. We went back and worked with the school and the county. We all felt it would be good if we could add one to the other side of the intersection, and that's what's going to happen. So that will be included as the design moves forward. This is just a blow-up of the pedestrian refuge. You can see on the east side is the platform extended, a walkway where someone could stay, and then on the west side, and these have to meet minimum requirements in terms of being wide enough to be safe. But that's what's happening at the intersection with Dale Drive. And this is a rendering of the east, sort of the east end of the school, and back behind the wall is where the traction power substation is actually in this rendering, so it's back in there. And then this is what we also showed back in October. This is the landscape plan. You know, if the trees that have to be removed, for instance, along Wayne Avenue, we have to replace them on a caliber by caliber basis. And this is an area where landscaping will take place. We have room to do that. This doesn't mean that this particular street tree, I cannot guarantee, is going to be right there. What I can tell you is this is roughly the extent of the landscaping. It includes street trees, it includes shrubs, it includes ground cover, And it even also, besides the green trail, it includes environmental site design, stormwater management facilities along the street. Let's see. So I just want to talk a little bit about the benefits of the P3 process. As you know, it is a P3 public-private partnership. However, I would argue it's really more of a public-private partnership because it's not just MTA, it's not just the state, it's the two counties that are definitely partners with us. And from now on, when we talk about the Purple Line team, we're talking about MTA and Purple Line Transit Partners. We are one team. It's not like they're going off and doing their own thing. They're at the table with us, and we're right there with them. This whole public-private partnership helps us out a lot. It allows the concessionaire, who's got a lot of experience, to better manage the cost, to provide innovation, and to help mitigate risk, and also earn return on their investment. There are provisions in terms of handback, meaning they have, after the 30 years, they have to hand back the Purple Line to us, and it has to be in a certain conditions. There are a lot of incentives and provisions in place to make sure that the Purple Line is designed with high quality and that is maintained throughout the 30-year period after they build it. It's not like a regular contractor who comes in, builds the project, and walks away. These guys are not walking away. They're with us through the 36 years. In terms of MTA, State of Maryland, we have oversight over all aspects of the project. We will be responsible for the Purple Line, the information, communications. Obviously, we would be supported strongly by our partner. We've developed third-party agreements with the counties, with the University of Maryland, with various key stakeholders, including all the utility companies. The right-of-way process is the responsibility of MTA. Obviously, that has been moving forward along the project. MTA is responsible for establishing the fares. This is not how the concessionaire makes their money. The fares, again, are established by the state. They have to follow state regulations in terms of fare box recovery and things like that. Okay? So I'm going to turn it over to our team to talk a little bit about themselves. Herb Morgan from Purple Line Transit Partners.
Good evening, everyone. On this Memorial Day weekend, I'm stalling there to find my glasses so I can see what's going on here. Okay. As Mike said, the Purple Line Transit Partners is a P3. This is I represent the concessionaire. I'm also a senior vice president for tour. So I've been in the business about 42 years. Which means I'm old. And just to clarify one comment from Mike, yes, we are here. We're here for the long haul, and we're here for 36 years. I'm not going to be here for 36 years. Just wanted to clarify that. Okay? Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. Anyway, the P3 model, because of the finance component, the design component, the operation and maintenance, is a very complex process. It's a very complex contract. This is the second transit that goes with transit. I've had the privilege of now working on both of them. Our Denver line's up and running, and now this, so I'm involved now in this one. So we bring a little bit of experience to the site here. Just to try and define our team, there's a lot of boxes there. not to confuse everybody, but the concessionaire is ourselves, Star, and Meridian. That we have then taken and broken down the design build into a contract and the O&M into a contract. The DB is floor, again, we're in all the boxes, lane and trailer. We have a long history of working with both of those companies. Matter of fact, Lane and Floor have done a lot of work here and did it across the river in Northern Virginia. So Lane's done a lot of work here in Maryland. Floor and our government and our industrial group has done a lot of work here in Maryland. So it's not like we're strangers to the area. The operation and maintenance firm, again, is Floor and ACI. CAF is our car supplier, and we'll talk about them in a moment. Floor and ACI are operating our trains in Denver. So again, we're bringing that experience to the site. As I said before, we're here for the long haul. We're here for 36 years. We're going to be a part of this community for that duration. So, alongside our strong, ethical, corporate policies, we're going to do safety and quality are our top product. We want to take care of the safety of you all who are alongside the corridor, our workforce, the traveling public, any of the public partners who are going to have people on the site. That's our priority, is safety for all those people. And we're very proud of that. And then the qualities we talked about, we're going to operate it here for 36, we're going to be here for 36 years. We're then going to turn it back to MTA for another period of time. So the operations and maintenance will be there to maintain the system. Our policy is to be a good neighbor. This is an introduction for us tonight. We're meeting you all for the first time. You're meeting us for the first time. So we're here to listen. We want to see what's going on. But we're going to be here and we'll get to know you better. And so what we're saying in the last one is we're looking forward to partnering with the MTA and you as we develop this project and as we move it forward. They touched on earlier some of the design and refinements and commitments. It was, as we went through the whole proposal and then through the negotiations period, trying to meet the goals that were outlined by the proposal, by the administration. But one thing that I can say is we went through it on the community comments that came through, and we've seen those. We've tried to take on board those in our proposal. So I think, like I said, as we get to know you, you'll see that we are here. We're going to listen and see what we can work through. We talked about the arborist, which I always have trouble saying. I always mess it up. So, but I got through it. That is part of our contract. We're selecting that individual now, and they will be on our staff. We just talked about some of the safety measures. We're also looking at the visual and audible devices for the non-signalized crosswalks. And we're going to place an emphasis on, minimizing the construction noise and operating noise. And we'll talk about it in a little bit greater detail. This is the train. This is what it looks like. This is conspicuously purple. Where are the wires?
We're going to answer all the questions at the end, just so we don't want you to get through.
Yeah, okay.
And then open it up.
I don't think that they're above the car. They don't show
Ma'am, I'll make sure that I come to you with that question, but I just want to make sure we get through the entire presentation. I understand. Keep going.
Okay. This is manufactured by CAF. This car is actually based on the car they're running in Houston. It's just a modular type car. So they're running a 3-module there. We're going to run a 5-module here. As you see, the overall length is going to be about 136 feet. There's 80 seats in the car. It's 80% low floor, which means it's pretty much at level. It does meet the ADA. You see the wheelchair. We have spots for 8 wheelchairs, 8 bicycles. So that just kind of gives you an idea. This is pretty good layout. It'll be refined as we go through the final designs of this. Okay, what to expect before construction? That's what we're here today. We're trying to establish our community ties. We want to continue to be part of these regulated community outreach and need-type meetings. I think we will be. You'll see more of our team. We're very, very skinny right now on our staff with limited notice. I got the privilege of coming and talking to you all tonight while the rest of the staff's trying to do 4 days of work in 3 days. We're gonna, talking about the mobilization activities, you're not really gonna see construction till later this year, probably some in fall. You're gonna see a lot of relocation of the existing utilities, service, the survey and the subsurface. The survey is already working. Probably after Memorial Day, 1st of June, we'll start to see some of the subsurface borings. And we're gonna support the outreach to the schools with the educational outreach. During construction, this is always an interesting topic. I'd like to say that we won't make dirt and we won't make noise and everything will go great. And in 42 years, we've made dirt and we've made noise. It's just, that's construction. Our goal, though, is to mitigate that, and we'll talk about it a little bit. We're very, very sensitive to working in neighborhoods. I've had the privilege of building a highway in front of the Mayo Clinic in Rochester, Minnesota. And believe me, if you can build one there, you can build one anywhere. It was great. The site safety I talked about earlier, the noise monitoring, that's all part of our program. The lane shifts, the parking restrictions, we're starting to work through all these now as we start to work on our maintenance of traffic plans. Probably don't have a lot of those details tonight. But here's the mitigation, some of the mitigations. We are committed, it's in our proposal, we are committed to remaining access to the businesses and to the residents. That's pretty important. We understand how important that is to you, and it's certainly high on our list. We're going to talk about construction access and mobility plans. This is just in very, very early stages. Talking about where we're going to do haul routes, our access points. Once we get our construction team on site, they'll start to become heavily involved in this. Parking areas for construction workers, again, all this falls out of these plans, the whole deliveries and all that. The dust control measures are there for watering, mulching, and the vegetation cover. The noise, hopefully we are going with the low audible equipment backup alarms. I'm sure everybody in here knows what that is, right? It's white noise. It's not the clang, clang, beep, beep. It's white noise. With some of the newest earthquake, the mufflers, the dampening on the noise on the engine compartments. We're going to try and use power drops as many places as we can to try and eliminate running generators. And finally, this is a tentative construction schedule. Understanding that our construction schedule today is maybe a 1,500 activity schedule. By the time we're done, we're probably going to be at about 10,000 activities that we'll refine as we go forward into design, as we do utility relocations, things of that nature. So I'm not going to read all the details, but you're going to start seeing utility recreations this fall, but you're really not going to see any of the road work start until the summer of 18 in this area. And essentially what happens is you build half, then you move them over to the other half and build the other half. So you're going to see stage 1, stage 2. So you see pretty much the roadway work's done by the winter of 2019. The systems, which are everything that goes with the trains, all the crossing, all the controls, the signals, so forth, we'll spend about a year and a half there. And then all the testing and commissioning and trial of the trains. So that by spring of 2022, we're into the service.
Okay, again, I'll come back to you. I'm just gonna try to wrap up. Mike, are you coming up now?
No, I can
I'm
turn
gonna
back
ask
to you.
Mike, if you could try to wrap up, quickly. I saw a lot of people taking pictures, and I know because our PowerPoint went down over here, this presentation will be online in a couple days. So for those of you who weren't able to get a good picture, you'll be able to go and see the entire presentation. So Mike, if you could wrap up for us.
So I know you're anxious, so we'll move quickly. Community advisory teams, we sent out letters to the various community organizations, business associations, and whatever about designating someone to serve on community advisory teams. Talk to Joy, standing right there in the middle. She is developing this. She's running the show. And then we'll be starting this process sometime this fall. So again, talk to Joy if you have a question about it. This just talks about the format, how they will move forward, and basically they're mostly focused on construction, what's happening in your neighborhood, to make sure you all are aware of the construction activities, where they are taking place, to address your concerns during construction or as we get ready to carry out construction. Just looking ahead, we have begun some utility relocation in downtown Bethesda. That is part of the new southern entrance. Obviously, as we move forward, we have to refine the schedule, work closely with our partner. As we mentioned, survey, soil borings, we're starting. Stormwater management concept is being developed further. Mobilization of project offices, that's already underway. Introductory meetings, we'll be having those probably in the fall. Again, to make sure people get to know our team and what changes have been taking place, refinements as we move forward with the project, because there are some what we call alternative technical concepts, like at the Silver Spring Transit Center, that are part of the project now. And obviously, property owner coordination, real estate acquisition process moving forward. Next steps, financial close is expected to occur with our partner sometime in June, and then a full funding grant agreement should be signed with the Federal Transit Administration this summer. The community advisory teams kicking off in the fall. Construction started late in the year, and the Purple Line up and operating by 2022. Okay, I'm going to hand it back over to Andy.
Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it. While you're up here, we're gonna get into some Q&A right now. Again, if someone filled out a question card, you just put it over your head, and we'll have Rachel come and grab that. I see one over here, Rachel. There was, and I see one in the back as well. There was that question about the schedule quickly regarding 2019, I believe it was, as well as the wires on the car. So maybe this is probably a good time to address that if you can. Is that for her or for you, Mike?
Well,
I think there was.
we had some renderings in here that showed the catenary wires. Obviously, there will be wires overhead. There's a rendering of a wire. Here's one at the station also. Again, there'll be over Wayne Avenue, basically in the middle. The cars, that's what powers them.
So what we're going to do is, if you could.
What was the other question?
It was about the schedule about 2019. I think she didn't see 2019 up there. I think was the date. 2016. So can you come up and address that? There's actually this microphone right there.
As I understand it, there will be some work. There will be an opening ceremony, probably in the fall, November, December of 2016. There will be.
Mike, you want me to?
Yeah, go ahead.
The schedule that I had up on there was for the Wayne Avenue area. that was allowed, you didn't see a 2016 in there. The 2016 will be the construction, will begin on Purple Line, which will probably be some clearing and stuff out in Prince George County. But the schedule I had up there was referencing Wayne Avenue on.
Okay, so what we're gonna do now, we're gonna take questions from out here. I'm gonna challenge our responders when a question is asked to try to respond as quickly as you can, just so we can get as many questions. And I am also gonna ask members of the public just to try to get your question as quickly as we can, so we can hear from as many people as we can. So if you put your hand up, I will come to you. And
thank you. It's my understanding construction to rate the partners that are building this. My question is, will we have access to those on a website? And when will we get a copy of the execution agreement so we know what is to be expected during construction?
who wants to grab that question?
I believe the agreement is on the website.
The execution agreement?
What do you mean by execution?
Whatever they have agreed to do during construction.
No, the
Commitments during
project execution plan, it has not been completed yet.
That's
That is
what I'm
being,
talking about.
that will be reviewed by the counties, and it will be then taken out to the public.
Okay, again, if I see a hand, yes?
What about the,
Hold on,
what
ma'am.
about the evaluation on a
I
quarterly?
mean, we're not gonna do any follow-ups right now.
That was the question.
What was the last part?
The quarterly reports on the.
Quarterly reports? The quarterly reports on the construction, will those be public on the website?
I do not know that.
Okay, so we'll have to get back to you on that question. If you can see one of the staff, and we'll make sure that we get a response back to you, okay?
Thank you. While that slide is still up, and we were talking earlier, we heard a lot about the left turn situation at Dale and Wayne. Will U-turns be permitted on Wayne Avenue at Dale Drive intersection?
All of the left turns will be on a green arrow only. There is sufficient space for U-turns to be permitted. I'm not sure that a tractor trailer could make a U-turn, but certainly a box truck would be able to make a U-turn. I don't see any reason why it should be prohibited, since it is a permitted and protected movement with a green arrow.
Okay, back here. I'm just gonna stay.
Okay, sure. So, the section of the kind of control freak here, section of the purple line that goes through our neighborhood is an aberration from the rest of the project, in that the train sharing lanes with traffic in a already congested residential area. Why have the plans been finalized, or at least the design has been finalized before there's been any community feedback whatsoever? And why have there been concessions made to other areas along the purple line that have much less impact than we're going to experience?
Well, first of all, it has not been done without community input. The other day I counted 82 meetings that have been held with the public in the Silver Spring portion of the project. Can I finish?
Just let me finish answering.
That started back in May of 2003. As I mentioned, Wayne Avenue was just one of the alternatives at that time. There were many alternatives. It's a process in terms of design that evolves. Again, there were many different alignments that were chosen. We didn't design the system until we were able to eliminate or not consider further other alternatives. So it took a number of years till we actually started to focus on the design on Wayne Avenue. And the design that we have today has been footed, has been taken out to public meetings. It has been shared with the public. It's been on our website for a number of years. So I do not believe.
Who that lives on Wayne Avenue?
Sir, hold on. Sir, we're gonna, thank you, Mike. If you do have follow-up questions, again, we're gonna have the maps up here, but we're gonna try to get to as many people as we can. Chris, if you could ask your question.
Okay, so I came here with a blank pad, and just in 30 minutes, I have a whole bunch of questions I know.
Just give one, or if you could.
Okay, I'll ask this one. How will there be adequate enforcement of lower speed limit the 25-mile-an-hour speed limit on Wayne, given that the speed cameras near the school have been decommissioned for quite some time, purportedly due to insufficient revenue?
Is Commander Jones in the room? Commander?
Good evening. The speed enforcement is not simply only done by speed cameras. So let's make it clear with that. We have other alternatives with enforcement from traffic division to focus on speed limit. We do studies on speed, particularly in those corridors, and particularly we will address that as we see fit. When this is being designed, we'll continue to monitor traffic as well as our traffic enforcement along these corridors as need fit. So we will continue to monitor them just like we've done on Dale Drive and other areas in this particular area. We will be monitoring that. We will definitely take close attention to more pedestrians. And again, with the purple line, once it's designed, we will be focusing on that.
And they will be over at the table in the back to my right there to answer any more detailed questions that you have after this. I'm just going to read one of the written questions that we had at this time. And actually, before I do that, I was handed this card about an hour ago and I haven't done it, but I just wanted to recognize that Tommy Habor from Councilmember Hans Reamer's office is here, so I just want to make sure I did that. So the question is, please explain what replacing trees on a caliper by caliper basis means.
Okay, so it means if we have to remove a tree that's, let's say, 10 inches wide, 10 inches in circumference, it means that we have to replace those 10 inches. Now, that could be 10 1-inch caliber, could be 5 2-inch caliber, however that works out. That's what we mean by caliber. Doesn't, if there's a tree out there that is large, and there are some large trees out there, let's say it's 2 feet around, we can't plant a tree that large. So we have to make it up by a larger number of smaller trees.
Okay, and I wanted to just say that the questions we've received, we don't read every one that was given. They will be gone through, answers will be provided, and they will be put on the website, but obviously you can still ask those questions at the tables. One more written question, then I'll go back to people in the audience. How will you make a left turn off Wayne onto streets without left-hand turn lanes and lights?
The left turns that will be made into some of those side streets that aren't currently signalized, as well as all of the driveways that are along Wayne Avenue, you will make those left turns the same way you make them today.
What if you can't see a car coming?
Hold on, everyone.
The difference, the one difference that I want to clarify is that video was a train slowing down to a stop at the station. All of the rest of the trains will be moving at the same speed as traffic.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to take a question back here from this woman who's been waiting patiently. Hold on, ma'am. I'll come to you in 1 second, okay?
Hello. You mentioned several times during your presentation that you are going to hire an arborist to work on the project, and that's very nice. But I don't know if you know, there's a big difference between an arborist and a landscaper. And so a landscaper would take that picture and really give us a beautiful avenue or a boulevard. And so I would like to know, what is your budget for landscaping? Because at the end of the day, what's going to make us happy is that when your bulldozers and all the trucks and stuff leave, that we have a beautiful tree-lined street. And that's kind of sterile looking. So are you going to, if you all would put some money aside to really give us boulevard or an avenue that has been designed by a landscaper? Is there money for a landscaper?
So landscaping question.
I would assume that, the team will be bringing landscape architects on board. In fact, I know they will. In terms of a budget, we do not have that information. The project is 16 miles long, so it has to be costed out from a larger perspective from that. What we showed you in terms of a landscape plan is what will be provided generally out in that area. Some areas there's not a lot of room to plant things. All along the north side, where the green trail is, the trail is 8 feet wide, and there's a 5-foot buffer. So we are able to, in some cases, build stormwater management facilities, in some cases put trees up there, but a lot of other areas, there isn't that much space.
Hold on, man. Again, we'll give you more, if we have more information and other team members at the tables, but I'm gonna move on. That is the answer to the question. The next question, will there be wear and tear on vehicles, I assume this means cars, driving on tracks in shared lanes?
I certainly am not aware that that's been an issue. Again, I don't know. I don't think that that's ever been an issue as far as I know. It happens elsewhere, when cars go over tracks. It happens in Baltimore. I'm not aware of that being an issue.
Okay. Ma'am?
Okay, just one comment, one question. There's a difference between having meetings and getting input from the community. And also, without that station, is widening of anything necessary? If the station goes away, is widening needed? Correct.
So the question is, if the station goes away, is there still a need to widen the road?
Yes, for the protected left turn lanes that are needed from a safety standpoint.
Okay, question back here?
Yes, the plan shows a two-way intersection or entrance exit from Dartmouth Avenue at Wayne Avenue. Is that the plan for Dartmouth Avenue to become a two-way street? That's what the diagram seems to show?
And Cedar too.
So Dartmouth, and then I heard Cedar. Are they meant to become two-lane roads? Is that your question, sir?
They're
Two-way roads?
I'm not sure which plan you're referring to.
Well, you know what, in fairness to them, why don't we save that? We're gonna have the project team come back there and you can work directly with them on that.
I can answer the question.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not, at least the plans that I'm familiar with, I know those are the concessionaire's plans. There is no plan to change the direction of Cedar or Dartmouth or any of the other streets.
Your bullet point suggested that there was. That's from that.
That's a typo.
So, sir, hold on for 1 second, please. Sir, there was a typo on the, from what I'm understanding, there was a typo on the slide. It's on the map. Okay, there's a typo on the map, and so what was just stated was what your understanding is, that there is no intention for them to become two-way. Okay, great. Question? Yes, sir.
So I have a comment and a question as well. The comment being, I'm not sure why people are willing to have the train run down Wayne and not have a station at Cerberus. I feel like that's really foolish. My question being, is the station anything that you can actually take out, given that you are not allowed to alter the scope?
The station has always been there. It was just. The station was a matter, the station has always been in the plan.
Hold on, everyone, hold on, let him finish.
The only question was exactly when it would be built. It was decided that it will be built at the outset. The station is there.
Hold on, everyone, hold on. We're not going to do anything by yelling people down, okay? If we can't do this in orderly, I understand. That's fine, okay. I can't even understand what you're saying, okay? So we're gonna move on. Are there any other questions? Because we're gonna move, I've already come to you, I'm gonna try to get people who haven't asked a question yet.
I will note that we worked very closely with the member. We worked very,
please.
Andrew, I just want to reiterate, we worked very closely with the county DOT, we worked very closely with the public school engineers, we worked very closely with the schools themselves to work out the station, location, the walkways, the intersection entirely, and they are on board with the current design.
Ma'am, people are saying they're having a tough time hearing. Ma'am, I need you to, because people are having a tough time hearing because of the conversation in the back. Yes, ma'am.
Would somebody give her a cookie?
Hold on. Ma'am, this woman is sat patiently waiting to ask a question. In fairness to her, I want to give her that chance. Ma'am, please.
As a result of your study.
Ma'am, out of fairness to everyone else in the room, please, we've given you a lot of leeway for this meeting. I know you're upset, but we want to give people a chance, please.
As a result of your study, can you tell us how many people you anticipate will be on the trains each day?
How many people will be on the trains each day, the ridership is coming?
The train, to start with, when it begins in 2022, the estimated ridership is 55,000.
Daily?
Daily.
Do we have more from the index funds? How will we make sure we don't have... Okay, I got it. How will we make sure we don't have years delay and overruns like the transit center?
There are many provisions in the contract that provide incentives and disincentives if it is not built on time. So we feel very comfortable with the team we selected that they will complete the project on time. We have every confidence of that.
Thank you. Hi, I think this question is for Mr. Rushke and maybe Mr. Wollenine. You know, traffic is like water. Where it's stopped, it flows other places, and all of our neighborhoods suffer from cut-through traffic. So my question is, how are you going to preferably stop, but control, manage cut-through traffic in the neighborhoods for the Wayne Avenue corridor between Colesville and Piney Branch? So that includes maybe more one-way streets, maybe more restricted access, speed tables, you know, all kinds of traffic calming measures. I live on a cut-through street, and this will probably double the cut-through to about 1,000 cars an hour on my street. So, what's the plan?
So the concessionaire will be developing traffic control plans for when they're taking away lanes or have to shut down the road. We will work with the state and the concessionaire to make sure that they're not detouring traffic onto lower classified roadways. The county has a number of programs in terms of traffic calming, addressing local cut-through traffic. Those are all community-based. For example, you know, speed humps, you love them or you hate them, there is a process where we work with the community, develop a plan, and it's put out for community concurrence. It's actually an executive regulation.
Can we get bumped up to the head of the line for those programs? Because they take 4 or 5 years once you're on the list.
The access restriction program, it is a lengthy process. I don't know where we have construction efforts, but We are looking at that program to make sure we can get in quickly to a community. Again, we'll be working with the concessionaire and the state to try to handle some of that through traffic control plans. So to make sure that, you know, exactly as you say, traffic doesn't start acting like water and trying to find a path of least resistance. We've recently got some communications about traffic signal timings along Colesgrove Road. We've extended a couple of the left turn timings further down south on Colesville Road to try to preclude or give more time to those major routes so people weren't coming down Dale and coming through the communities. Those timings were just implemented within the last couple of days, so hopefully we'll see how those have an impact over time.
Okay, question from the index card. Will there be noise that is audible from the traction power substation? Question about the traction power substation. Will there be noise that is audible from the traction power substation?
The provision allows for the noise, provides that the noise will not exceed 60 decibels, which is probably a little lower, for around the same as my conversation.
And then another index card question. Are we considering permeable paving to reduce runoff, stormwater runoff?
No, as far as I know, that's not workable. The tracks, let me make clear, will be embedded into the roadway, and obviously we have to meet all the state, MDE, Maryland Department of Environment requirements in terms of stormwater management.
Question here.
Hi, yeah, so there is a significant impact on the aesthetic of the streetscape. You don't seem to have a clear answer on whether or not there is or is not a landscape architect as part of the team. Could you please clarify that? No, please clarify.
There is definitely landscape architects on the team.
You ought to rebid that job, right?
Just a quick comment. It's terrifying to think of a bunch of first graders in that refuge area. It doesn't seem like a refuge to me. But quick question, what is the new width that's proposed here at Waynedale?
So the slide that's up there, what's the new width?
Well, just, I wish I had a laser pointer, but over here on the right-hand side, there's two 11-foot lanes. So these are two 11-foot lanes. The station platform, I believe, is carried as 18. The width of the... Yeah, I'm not sure exactly what the width of that platform is, but then there's the transit way, which is about 13 feet. Then there's three 11-foot lanes. So you can do the math. But
Is it 11 plus 11 plus 18 plus 13 plus 11 plus 11 plus 11?
68. Can you go over the, I didn't really follow, so I mean, I'm sure everyone else didn't follow. Can you go over that again?
88 feet.
11, 11, this is 15, 13, and then 3 11s.
83.
88.
Okay. Where's the number?
I counted 83, just adding up the numbers.
I'm just curious
Why?
about how much money is saved doing all this changing, buying of land, widening, safety issues, tree replanting. How much money is actually saved on changing the aesthetic of the neighborhood compared with the tunnel, which was proposed by the neighborhood and overwhelmingly voted many years ago, early on in those 82 meetings you had with the public. I can't imagine this is cheap.
Is there a way to quantify the difference in cost between the tunnel and
First of all, to build a purple line is not cheap. In terms of the tunnel options, we looked at several different tunnel options. In terms of cost, there is no comparison. There were other concerns about the tunnel in terms of how long they had to extend, whether it had to go all the way under Sligo Creek
Question from the index card. Who will be doing the construction inspections? Will it be the state or the county that's responsible for the inspections? Stuart? Hold on.
The concessionaire will be responsible for quality control on their construction. The MTA will be responsible for what we're calling quality assurance oversight. So we are not doing the quality control, that will be part of the concessionaire's obligations.
So we're going to do about 2 more questions, and then we're going to go over the maps where we can work with the engineers and the planners. Yes, sir?
Well, I heard